Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Chocolate Slow here from Team Wonder Bread, coming to bring you a deck profile of the deck I'm testing for regionals. I think it has a really decent matchup versus like Geargia, all the machine decks out that are floating around right now, Psychics, Chaos Dragons. It's okay against Rabbits, not exactly the best. Its worst matchup's probably Heroes, just because Heroes play a lot of back row. So any kind of like anti meta, it's not really strong against. But other than that, it has a really strong matchup against most of the other meta right now. And that deck is Frog Monarchs. So I'll get into it with the three Swamp Frogs. The three Swamp Frogs and the two Treeborns is the whole engine of the deck. The Swamp Frog gets your Treeborn to the graveyard, and then every turn you just use Treeborn to tribute for your Monarchs or your big guys. It's a really consistent, very strong engine. You open Swamp Frog and you get this in grave turn one, you're set for the rest of the game. Uh, Two Dew Frogs. Dew Frog's nice because he has 2000 D, so when they start swinging with Thunder King, they just run right into it. And when he's sent from field to grave, you search the Swamp Frog, gets to your Swamp Frog faster. And also, people always forget he has a second effect that while he's face up, he's the only monster you can attack, which that doesn't usually affect the game, but it does happen sometimes. Uh, One Rodent Totem. Rodent Totem is extra trip water for your Monarchs, and also he sets up for rank 2 plays. Then into the Monarchs, you got three Caius, because Caius is the best Monarch, obviously. You have to play three. Two Ryza. I usually play three Ryza, but I cut one of the Ryzas to main deck one Mobius. I usually don't like Mobius, but this format being a little more trap heavy, I feel like Mobius is a lot more favorable. You do have to watch out though for because Starlight Road is being played in a lot in most decks right now. Uh, Onto the other big monsters. You have double Light and Darkness Dragon. Light and Darkness Dragon by himself is a win condition. They exhaust all their resources to get over it, and then once you do get over it, you just plus by getting like one of your monarchs back or one of your big guys back. And then if you drop the second lad, usually it's game because if they get over the first one, they usually don't have that many resources. Then when you drop the second one, they don't have enough to keep up with it. It's really good. Uh, Two main deck Vanity Scenes. A lot of people tell me I shouldn't main deck the Vanity Scene, but I feel like with Vanity Scene main deck, it's a lot more of a surprise factor. Most people expect Frog Monarchs to side into Vanity Scenes because it's very strong against a lot of decks, but they don't expect it game one. And if you go this turn, like if you play this against like Chaos Dragons or Rabbit or something before they get out before they get out their monsters, it's really hard for them to get around this. Uh, Dark Dust Spirit, obviously because he blows up all the monsters, and then since he's a spirit, he bounces, and then you can just keep replaying him and keep spamming him out with Reborn. Uh, Onto the hand traps. Triple Effect Veiler. These are going to be maxes when I go down to regionals, but right now I'm playing Effect Veilers. Uh, Three Battle Fader, stop OTKs and use the trip fodder for Monarchs. Two Trigodia, same thing. Trigodia is really good in this deck because you play pretty conservatively. So when he drops, you usually have 5 to 6 cards in hand, so he comes out pretty big. And then Gores, obviously, because Gores is amazing. And then the last monster, I am playing the BLS. Uh, I really BLS is a very strong card, and obviously he's a win condition. But I really don't like BLS in this deck. He's usually dead most of the time because you don't get lights and darks to the grave fast enough to make him live. But he when you do play enough lights and darks, he's just one of those cards you kind of have to play. Onto the spells. Three enemy controllers because enemy controller and Treeborn is like a free brain control. Ridiculous. Three Soul Exchange. A lot of people disagree with me on this as well. Most people only play two. I like three Soul Exchange because three Soul Exchange is an out to everything. Like Soul Exchange gets over like agents are big right now, so Christia is a really big problem for this deck. If your opponent drops Christia, this is like one of your only outs to it. It's really monsters like that and Dinah, other Vanity Scenes are really hard to get over. So Soul Change is just a good out to monsters like that. It's also good against like in Dinah Rabbit against like Logia and Dolka because Dolka is a big problem for this deck as well. Uh, Monster Reborn, obviously, Heavy Storm and Dark Hole, obviously power cards, staples. Fourth Burial, because you need to get your Treeborn to the grave, so Fourth Burial just puts Treeborn in there, or Rodent Totem if needed. And then for backer removal, I have 2 MSTs. 3 is unneeded because of the main deck Mobius, and usually you can use your Monarchs to hit the back row, but you usually don't want to use your Monarchs to hit the back row, because if you target the back row and then they chain it, then that just kind of kills your chance of getting the plus. Onto the extra deck. There's a lot of room in the extra deck because I'm not playing the tour guides right now. So 1 Chimera Tech, 2 Gotchis, 1 Darkness because this card's really good, and 1 Daigusto Phoenix. This is by far the best rank 2 ever. By himself, if he swings directly, you can make him swing twice and do 3,000 damage. It's also, it flows with the deck really well because you can also make Ryza swing twice, which is pretty nice. 24 twice is like 4,800 damage, so that's pretty good. For the rank 6s, I have Exabeetle, Strike Bounder, and Force Focus. These are just to make you Monarchs, make these guys. This is an amazing card. I will be getting a Sword Breaker, which is, I just don't have it yet. Then Utopia Ray and Gaia Charger. I play these because of the 3 enemy controllers. This I can take their Utopia, make Ray, and with this I can take their rank 5s and rank 6s and make him. If my opponent has an opposing strike bouncer, that's hard to get over as well. Then for the Synchros, I have 1 Formula, 1 Ancient Fairy Dragon. This will probably what I'll be taking out for the Sword Breaker. 1 Black Rose, 1 Stardust Dragon, and 1 Strap Dragon for the Synchros. And then for the side deck, the side deck's still in work, but this is what I have for now. 2 Cyber Dragons, because the Purgia is huge right now. Machina, all that kind of stuff is really big. 2 Jinzos for really trap heavy decks. This card's really good against Rabbit. I like this card a lot. 2 Gemini Imps for Dark World, and also a lot of people forget for Gravekeepers too. Gravekeepers isn't a bad matchup until they Royal Tribute you, because this deck's has 29 monsters, so 9 times out of 10 your hand is going to be a handful of monsters. And if they Royal Tribute you and drop your entire hand, then they're going to win. So Gemini, you bring that in against Gravekeepers. 2 Puppet Plants for Heroes, Gravekeepers, and 6 Samurai. Then 2 Electric Virus for Hirgia, and also Dragons and Dino Rabbit. I play the 1 Crow just for random road matchups and Chaos Dragons, and 1 Mobius for more backer removal and destruction. 2 Soul Takers. I bring these in against decks that play monsters pretty much anything that needs moved out of the way, like Logia, Dolka, Christia, Fossildyna. Thunder King doesn't really hurt this deck. The only thing I really search with is Duke Frog, so Thunder King doesn't hurt too bad, but monsters that keep me from special summoning, and monsters that stop my monster effects, stuff like that, that I can't use my Monarchs to get rid of, I can use Soul Taker to get rid of them. And then I side deck the 3rd MST. But yeah, that's it. This deck has a really, like I said, this deck has a really decent matchup versus most of the meta. I'm also testing a bunch of stuff, I am going to be testing Illusory Snatchers. I do have a couple of them that I'm probably going to be playtesting. So I'll keep you guys posted. I'll probably update this a few times before we actually get to regionals. But I'll give you guys a finished project when I'm finished with it. Well, that's it. Tell me what you guys think. Comment, rate, subscribe. Peace, YouTube.